Have you ever wondered why you need a challenge to kind of have a great epiphany in life? Why you find your most illuminating wisdom at your darkest moment? Well, I wondered those things for a long time too. I'm Carrie Blazer Bazaglo, the reincarnation of Mary Magdalene, the divine feminine. Please like and subscribe, help my videos get to as many people as possible as I share my free DIY trauma healing techniques. I'm here to teach you how to operate your soul, how to transform your wounds into wisdom, and how to achieve enlightenment ultimately, and what enlightenment is. So, I had a very traumatic childhood. And I thought all of life was the valley of darkness. I mean, I had 35 years of debilitating lower back pain. And I thought, am I being punished? Am I just a bad person? Like, I'm trying to be nice here, but my life isn't working out. I have failed relationships, failed marriage, failed, challenges with my kids, my parents. Like, what is going on here? And the epiphany that I was searching for is exactly what I said in the title, is that, we need our deepest, darkest depths in order to achieve our highest epiphanies. And I'm going to quote Winston Churchill here. And I realized through my healing over the past 10 years, I'm 55 now, that when something's true, it's true in multiple places. So Winston Churchill said that it is said that famous people are often the product of an unhappy childhood. So, but why does the unhappy childhood come before the fame, right? Like, why do you have to go down before you can go up? And I had to realize a lot of things. But here's the physics experiment that helps me a lot. So let me share. And he kind of gets into it. And since our souls are energy bodies, and physicists have proven it now that we all have energy bodies, our souls operate based on the laws of physics. I'm like, well, that's helpful. Like, how does my soul operate? Let's look at the laws of physics. Okay, so here's the physics experiment showing us why the hills and valleys are necessary in life.
Hello, I'm Bruce Shane, and today in Homemade Science, I want to go back and revisit the high road, low road track. Now, I did a previous video on this, and I had so many questions and comments, I thought it would be worthwhile to go back and do a few more demonstrations on it and take a closer look. Now, this is a classic physics problem where we have two tracks that start at the same position and end at the same position, but their path from one side to the other is completely different. Now, these balls are able to roll down the tracks, so the question is, if I were to release them simultaneously, which track would get the ball to the opposite side the quickest? Well, let's give it a try.
The laws of physics say that the fastest moving energy is the most transformative energy. Enlightenment is the fastest moving energy inside of a human soul, inside of our souls, okay?
So the shortest distance between 2 points is not necessarily the fastest. Now, what's going on here? Well, we're giving both balls potential energy by lifting them up to a certain position. When I release them, only a small amount of its potential energy is changed into kinetic on this track, so its speed across a track isn't very high. However, on the low road track, I started out at that high position. It drops down, changes that potential energy into kinetic, but then it drops an additional distance, so more potential energy is changed to kinetic, so it's going to cover this distance at a higher speed. Now, I've always enjoyed these tracks, so I thought it'd be fun to try some variations in it. So I've made other ones. And in this case, I've added a single hill in the center of the low track, which comes back up to the original height of the high road track. Now let's give this one a try. Let's try it with 2 humps.
So as you can see, oh, let me just turn it off here. So as you can see, the ball going downward creates the kinetic energy, the propulsion, the momentum, the inertia to climb the next mountain. But when we don't surrender first, we don't capitalize on how the laws of physics work to help us reach our next mountaintop. We kind of just want to stay on the top and not go into our fear, guilt, and shame because no one taught us how. And I say that is endemic of a traumatic childhood. My childhood, my mom was an alcoholic, my dad was a workaholic. Neither of them knew how to go into their emotional pain and come out on the other end. My mom was kind of like pain killing at the bottom on her shame, guilt, and fear. And my dad was trying to surf the top with all of his money and capabilities. But neither of them were moving through their emotions. They were both stuck in their pain. And so I learned how to be stuck in my pain. I didn't learn that pain is part of the human experience and we're here to learn how to turn our pain, our wounds into wisdom and knowledge. So my nervous system through that experience physiologically was calibrated to resonate with fear, guilt, and shame. And so I stayed in it for 35 years with debilitating lower back pain until I learned how to go into my emotional wounds and come out of my emotional wounds. And I also learned that, like anyone, like just being logical here, I didn't start surfing my emotional wounds at a Mount Everest size wave or the 70-foot wave off of Portugal. I started on a little wave. I kind of one day, the first time I actually did it on my own without any help from a shaman or, someone else. And I didn't have any help. So I went in a little and I came out a little and I realized I had learned how to talk to my subconscious and trust it. And I learned how to ask my wounds in my subconscious, in my shadow, okay, what's the problem here? And I was through that process, my subconscious told me that I had a belief that if I apologize, my loved ones will leave me. And so based on that belief, okay, so then no apologizing, no one leaves, but then I'm making decisions based on fears. And when I make decisions based on fears, I manifest those fears. It's like, oh, that fear is right. Put it out through my heart. What happens? Oh, the opposite of what I want to happen. But I didn't understand that process. I didn't understand the manifestation process. So now I make decisions based on love, compassion, and enlightenment. So that's what comes out through my heart. And that's what I manifest in my reality. And I also, through my healing journey, attracted many men into my life. And I've been raped. So I attracted men who, I don't speak for them, but Andrew Tate and his best friend, Justin Waller. And I had a personal relationship with Justin Waller. And I, was attracting in lots of men who had a lot of women. So I had to understand, well, why am I doing it? Oh, I had a wound that I'm replaceable in my subconscious that I was unaware of until 2023, until I was 53 years old. So I'm not going to value myself very much if I believe I'm replaceable. And then so I'm attracting in men showing me myself. But then also, okay, well, why does a man have multiple women and can't go deep with one woman? Oh, well, they have wounds from their childhood. And so they go for breadth because they can't go for depth. But because they go for breadth, they're like the ball on the track that doesn't go down. So they're not having their major epiphanies because they've never felt safe enough to go into their emotional wounds because their mom was a devouring mother and abusive. And so I had a devouring father, probably devouring mother too. Like I had abuse on every front. And so, I just stayed in my fears because I never learned how to turn my wounds into wisdom. But this is why the depths determine the heights. Like if you want to climb Mount Everest, You have to go equally deep. If I, want enlightenment, which is, spiritual climbing of Mount Everest, then I learned, okay, if I want Mount Everest-sized wisdom, I have to take on Mount Everest-sized wounds, and that's what my soul planned for me. But I had to go through my life, start learning how to transform my emotional wounds into personal wisdom to realize why my soul had planned my life as such. Okay, so I hope this video helps, and please check out my free ebook below. And it's the 6 Divine Feminine Self-Love Strategies. Will teach you why changing the world is an inside job. So if you want to learn how to change the world like I'm doing, I stay at home, I expand my emotional range, I process my crap, and I experience enlightenment, and that naturally helps everyone. All right, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Take care. Bye.